Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on your lunch hour today. Welcome to the 9th Annual Standing with Children Awards. I'm Jessica Seitz, Executive Director of Missouri KidsFirst. Today, we're going to celebrate the work of champions for Missouri children, both inside the Capitol building in Jefferson City and in your communities. As professionals working to help children who have faced abuse and neglect, the champions you're going to meet today helped children achieve justice and healing and prevented child abuse from occurring in the first place through education in our schools and communities. I'm going to kick off by recognizing our sponsors this year. It's their generosity that made it possible to provide this event at no cost. We're so grateful for their continued support of our mission of empowering adults to protect children from abuse. We are happy to have Children's Mercy Hospital join us as our presenting sponsor. As one of 3 child abuse resource hospitals in our state, our partnership with Children's Mercy through the Safe Care program is one of our agency's deepest and longest, and we appreciate their support and the work their team does every day to promote the health of Missouri children. We're joined by another close friend and Child Abuse Resource Center on the other side of the state in St. Louis Children's Hospital as a platinum sponsor. But I also want to thank our gold, silver, and bronze sponsors, whose names I encourage you to know because they are leaders in our state. Whether they be key partners in child and family programming and advocacy at the Family and Community Trust and Kids Win Missouri, the state's only foundation for child abuse prevention, the Children's Trust Fund, the government relations experts of Winton Policy Group and Hush Blackwell Strategies, or our friends at Central Bank and Leadbelt Strategies, Meg and Mark Boyko, and Missouri KidsFirst board leaders, Jack Jensen, Keith Ray Mackey, and Jenny Nicholas. So I join you today at this event in a new role. I've worked with many of you. I served as our policy director for 4 years before becoming executive director in August. Through our partnerships with the 15 regional child advocacy centers across the state, the Safe Care Network, state agency partners, and other local, regional, and statewide partners, and our supporters, we made a significant impact in the lives of children in 2021. I'm so proud to lead our small but mighty team, all of who contributed to today's event and are here with us today. I want to recognize them by name. Meg Boyko is our Training and Education Program Manager. Patrick Hughes is our Operations Manager. Deidre Mason is our Training and Education Program Assistant. Randy Turntine is our Safe Care Program Manager. And Jenny Dodson-Weil is our Prevention Consultant. I'd also like to thank our Board of Directors for their leadership and service to our agency. The first Standing with Children Awards began in 2014. Over the years, legislators and child advocates who made important contributions to child protection in Missouri have been given this important award. Recipients are individuals who've advanced the Child Advocacy Center movement, promoted the use of multidisciplinary teams in child abuse investigations, and championed legislation that creates safer communities for children by supporting Children's Division and traditional MDT partners and funding for CACs, the Safe Care Program, and other agencies and services that are so critical to advancing child protection in Missouri. The theme of this year's Standing with Children event is Every Child Safe, Every Community Aware. Our awardees today embody this theme and have gone above and beyond in their careers to ensure victims of child abuse and neglect get help and receive justice to prevent abuse from occurring. I said earlier, Missouri KidsFirst mission is to empower adults to protect children. Well, a key part of this work is our work to educate policymakers to ensure that they have the knowledge, skills, and understanding required to advocate on behalf of children who have experienced or are at high risk of experiencing abuse and neglect. Our policymaker awards recognize those who make significant contributions toward public policies that protect children and prioritize their safety and well-being to create safer communities for our kids. We begin by recognizing 3 champions in our state's capital who answered a powerful call to action to address an issue that had gone ignored in Missouri for decades. Got quite a story for you. It begins in the fall of 2020. The Kansas City Star released details of young girls and women who had been removed from a boarding school called Circle of Hope in Southwest Missouri. Multiple investigations of abuse had been substantiated, yet these schools remained open. It turns out this was not an isolated incident. Subsequent details revealed even more schools with substantiated cases of abuse. We learned that these schools were fully exempt from oversight under a law that had been on the books for almost 40 years. Missouri had a full religious exemption from any oversight of youth residential facilities. We were one of only just 2 states with such an exemption. And over the years, horrific cases prompted calls for action. This article on the slide today is from 2002 from the Post-Dispatch, which identified Missouri as one of a handful of states where schools had fled in response to investigations of abuse. Missouri continued to be a haven, and decades later, nothing had been done to change the law. No oversight, no mechanism to check on the safety of children in a place where they live full time. The last time lawmakers had tried to take action was 20 years ago. But after new cases of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse came to light in 2021, some were unwilling to stay silent. It was time for action. It was Representative Carrie Engel who called for a hearing, and together she and Representative Rudy Veit teamed up in a courageous bipartisan effort to sponsor House Bill 557, the Youth Residential Care Facility Notification Act. The bill passed unanimously in the House and 23-9 in the Senate. Passage of House Bill 557 closed a loophole in our child protection system, providing minimum protections for children living in unlicensed residential facilities to help keep them safe and to ensure that predators are no longer shielded due to lack of oversight. Passage of this law, the first year of its introduction, is nearly unheard of in Missouri politics, but Representative Carrie Engel, Representative Rudy Veit, and Senator Bill White brought the voices of survivors to the forefront. There were hearings last year that blew doors open, shined a light on a broken system, and forced the hand of lawmakers. The bill was signed by Governor Parson last summer. Leading a historic legislative effort like this takes determination, brains, and most of all, respect among your peers. The 3 lawmakers recognized today have this in spades. This story was just one powerful example of why we are proud to recognize Representative Carrie Engel, Representative Rudy Veit, and Senator Bill White with the Standing with Children Awards today. Representative Engel and Veit join us this afternoon live. Representative Veit, are you with us?
I think so.
All right.
I
Yes,
can
you
see
are.
you. Are we on board?
I am. I can hear you. We can hear you. All right. Representative Veit is of Wardsville. He has served in the House since 2018. A practicing attorney, Representative Veit serves as the vice chair of the House Judiciary Committee and on the Special Committee of Government Accountability. Oh, and now I see Representative Engel. Can you hear us, Representative Engel?
Yes.
All right. All right. Representative Engel is of Lee's Summit, also have served since 2018. Representative Engel entered the General Assembly with a pledge to bring her experience in Children's Division to advance policies that prioritize the safety and well-being of kids in our state. A practicing licensed master social worker, Representative Engel currently serves on the General Laws Committee and the Joint Committee on Child Abuse and Neglect. Thank you both for being here today. I'll turn it over to either one of you to get us started.
Well, thank you for sharing this award. And while you talk to what we've all done, none of this would have been possible without the work of agencies like yours and your leadership in leading and teaming up the rest of the agencies and getting everybody on board, and also the work of Sheila Salon, who was a representative at the time, and also Carrie Engel, who took time out of their summer and off session to mastermind this program and to get it bringing it to light. What my role in it has been is mainly as a mouthpiece and coordinating from there forward. But without your role, the role of various agencies, Carrie Engel, Representative Engel, Representative Salon, Bill White, and more importantly, the individuals who were abused in these homes to come forward and testify and to live and relive everything in front of groups of people nationally on TV, and who drove here and spent many hours driving overnight, flying in from California. It was the work and the dedication of all of these individuals that made this bill possible. For that, I thank you.
I agree with Representative Rudy. None of this would have happened without, first of all, the really incredibly brave survivors from these facilities who used their trauma and their voice to be a voice for kids, across the state who hadn't been heard. And, you know, we, like Jessica said, I worked for the Children's Division for many years, and child welfare is a huge passion of mine. And I was completely unaware that there was this huge gap in oversight and our laws that allowed predators to find kids at their most vulnerable and then continue to abuse them. And so as soon as this was brought to my attention by a couple of really great investigative journalists, I was able to get a hold of Jessica and some other really great advocates in the Capitol, and who shared all of my concerns. And really, it was such a group effort to get the best piece of legislation that we could through. And so I'm really proud of the work we did, but there's still so much left to do as far as child welfare reform. And I know that the folks on this call know that. And there are things, you know, that we would love to add going forward, and we will not stop until there are no safe havens for child abuse in this state. Every child deserves a voice, they deserve to be protected, and survivors deserve justice. And so we'll continue to push for that.
Thanks to you both. Last year was a pretty incredible experience, and we really appreciate your leadership. So now we're going to move into the other chamber. And today we're thrilled to recognize Senator Bill White. When House Bill 557 was being considered last year, it passed with unanimous support in the House, but was met with resistance in the Senate. Thankfully, we had a champion waiting in the wings on that side of the building in Senator Bill White of Joplin, Missouri. Senator White has represented the people of Southwest Missouri since 2010. After his time in the House from 2010 to 18, he was elected to the Senate. Senator White has a long career advocating for the best interests of Missouri children, both during and prior to his time in office. He now serves as the chair of the Senate Seniors, Families, Veterans, and Military Committee, where he has shepherded numerous pieces of legislation promoting the health and safety of children and families, including some that are pending right now. Senator Bill White submitted his acceptance via a video we're going to show right now.
Hello, I'm State Senator Bill White, and it's an honor to be selected for this humbling award. Protecting and assisting vulnerable people, especially children, has been a cornerstone of my life. From representing children or the state in terminating abusive parents' custodial rights to passing laws in the Missouri legislature to protect children in residential care. As a guardian ad litem and a county juvenile attorney, I witnessed firsthand the trauma and abuse that innocent children suffer at the hands of those who are supposed to protect and nurture. As an adoptive foster parent, I also saw and experienced some of the faults of our family services and the court system that often failed to address the needs of the children or foster a solution to the problem. Those experiences, in addition to being a part of positive programs such as the Boys Club, Boy Scouts, and the YMCA, led me to focus much of my policy making efforts on children. Thank you, Jessica, and the team at Missouri KidsFirst for this tremendous honor and for all you do to make children a priority in our state. I'm also grateful for Matt Stewart and his staff who diligently work to protect children in my community and for their nomination. While I am a recipient of this award, the vulnerable children we serve and who endure the ordeals are the true winners of all our efforts.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm State
Senator White was nominated by Matt Stewart, Executive Director of the Children's Center of Southwest Missouri. I want to shout out Matt. He was nominated because of his career for protecting children and for his leadership of House Bill 557 in the Senate, which, as Matt said, is just the most recent example of his compassion for the safety of children. At Missouri KidsFirst, we're confident there will be more advocacy for kids from him to come. So thanks to Senator White for submitting that video. The Senate is actually in session today, so he was double booked. All right. Now it is time for our 3 community awards. These awards recognize individuals who make significant and outstanding contributions to the advancement of the Child Advocacy Center movement and promote the use of multidisciplinary teams in child abuse investigations. Or they made significant outstanding contributions to the advancement of the Safe Care Network, or demonstrated initiative in raising awareness of issues facing abused children or issues related to the prevention of child abuse. Today, we honor 3 remarkable recipients, each nominated by one of our child advocacy centers. In a child abuse investigation, there are many adults responsible for ensuring the safety of children involved and holding perpetrators accountable. Children and families benefit from a coordinated response. The first 2 awardees represent exemplary members of a child abuse multidisciplinary investigation team, or MDT, whose job it is to assure that the unique needs of children are recognized and met. So first, we're proud to recognize Sherry Hamner, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney in Pulaski County, who specializes in crimes against children. Sherry was nominated by Kara Gerdeman, Executive Director of Kids Harbor Child Advocacy Center in Osage Beach, Missouri. I welcome Kara today to share more about why Sherry was nominated and receives this award today.
Thank you, Jessica. Sherry Hamner is a stellar prosecutor, trainer, and outstanding advocate for children. Her passion became apparent through our very first interactions with her. At that time, she was a guardian ad litem in juvenile court. She took time with each child. She was invested and intentional. I believe each time she sat across from her client and asked how they were, what they needed, and how she could help, she was truly invested in that child. She listened to their answers. She heard their experiences, their fears, and struggles. She gave them the space they needed to feel safe. She did it naturally, but knew the importance of it. To grasp the relevance of the child advocacy movement, you must know the necessity of that safe space for a child to disclose. Sherry does. She always has. As her professional career has advanced and changed, she has continuously advocated for multidisciplinary team members to refer to our Child Advocacy Center, Kids Harbor. Currently, in her role as an assistant prosecutor in Pulaski County, she has many responsibilities on her shoulders. Many factors to consider before filing a case. Our forensic interviews and medical exams are always reviewed. In case review meetings, if cases are discussed prior to coming across her desk, she's engaged, asking questions, ensuring every team member has followed through. She considers the trauma the child may have experienced or is experiencing. She looks to the child's experience as the wealth of information and insight. She is diligent and determined, and every time the well-being of the child matters. She does not just look at the facts of the case, but at the humanity of the victim. She sees each child whose life is upside down. She understands the why of recantation and asks about the safety of the child. Having us, the team, do our best job is of utmost importance because it speaks to the well-being of the children we are serving. Sherry is not only a prosecutor, but an avid educator. She wants each agency in the child welfare system to know the importance of their purpose and have a deep understanding of the roles of each agency. Teamwork is key. Being able to trust in each other's ability is essential. Sherry emulates what she teaches. Not only does she teach others, she continues to seek information and knowledge to further her own skills, to assist her in understanding and building safer spaces. While her impact on Kids Harbor and our multidiscipline teams in 2 judicial circuits is immense, her impact across the state of Missouri cannot be forgotten. Sherry spent several years as an instructor with the Missouri Sheriff's Training Association Training Academy. Through this role, her influence can be seen instilling knowledge in new law enforcement officers. In 2016, Sherry accepted a child abuse fellowship position with Missouri Office of Prosecution Services. This position later transitioned into the first child abuse resource prosecutor for the state. While in this role, Sherry assisted prosecutors across the state reviewing, filing, and prosecuting crimes against children cases. She provided technical assistance and training for not only prosecutors, but also multidisciplinary team members, STAT, and other state agencies on many committees, including the State Child Death Fatality Review Board, the Task Force of the Prevention of Child Abuse, and the Missouri ICAC Task Force. Sherry doesn't hesitate to to assist Kids Harbor whenever she is needed. Whether it is a call to process a difficult case, speaking to community members to raise money and awareness, or assistance meeting a difficult relationship with a multidisciplinary team members, Sherry doesn't hesitate to jump in to help mediate or raise awareness. She is truly one of a kind whose impact can be seen and felt throughout our child advocacy centers and the entire state of Missouri. Please join us in recognizing Sherry's undeniable impact throughout our community and the entire state of Missouri. Congratulations, Sherry.
Sherry, are you with us? I see your box. We're having some technical difficulties. All right, so I believe Sherry's having connection issues. So if she's having, we'll give her a chance to come back. We'll move on to our next awardee and we'll circle back and see if she's back with us. All right, so our next awardee, we are proud to recognize Jennifer M.C. Hawkins, another outstanding member of a multidisciplinary child abuse investigation team. Jennifer is the abuse and neglect warrant desk attorney with the Jackson County Juvenile Office. She was nominated by our Kansas City Child Advocacy Center and CPC's, the Child Protection Center, CPC's MDT coordinator, or actually their CEO and president and CEO, Lisa Mizell, will join us today to introduce Jennifer.
I'm
There you
sorry,
are.
everyone. And I'm pretty sure Chelsea's on here, Jessica, but I don't know why she's not showing up. So Jen, I want to congratulate you on this. We are so glad that you were chosen for this award. Jennifer Hawkins, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read from my phone because Chelsea was slated to do this, and for some reason she's not showing up. Jennifer took the position as the attorney for the juvenile officer in 2020 and has already made huge strides in the field of child abuse. She is beyond committed to her role and to the children of Jackson County. She attends case review twice a month and attends all emergency collaborative meetings from the Child Protection Center and from Children's Mercy Hospital to discuss emergency cases. She does all of this in between advocating and preserving the rights of children in court. She works around the clock for the Jackson County multidisciplinary team, and her insatiable drive has not been unnoticed. Jennifer is always ready, focused, and willing to go above and beyond to ensure the safety of children in Jackson County. She handles every situation that comes her way in a professional and courteous manner. The leadership skills that she displays on case review and collaboratives encourages other MDT members and challenges them to be better. All of Jackson County MDT look up to her and value her insight and teamwork that she displays. They trust that when they reach out to Jennifer for questions, that she will treat them with kindness, listen to them, and do all that can be done for the best possible outcome for that child. That is the key to having a safer world for children. Someone who encourages all agencies to work together, crusades for the rights of abused children, and teaches others to further their work. We find that the amazing leadership skills she implements ensures that children are not being forgotten. Jennifer teaches and encourages all MDT to come to her for anything. She will drop whatever she is doing and squeeze anyone into her schedule to make sure she is assisting in any way to keep children in Jackson County safe. She often has to make, extremely difficult decisions and thinks of all avenues to ensure that children have access to services are in safe environments. Jennifer is a vital part of our MDT process and has made a huge and lasting impact on the field of child abuse. Jennifer also works very closely with CASA and has attended and been part of several of their fundraisers and events. Jackson County would be in a dire situation without her and her dedication, time, and effort that she's put into the field. I would add that when dealing with Jennifer, you know she's going to be fierce, but she's going to be fair. And that is something that I personally respect very much. And we are very, very grateful for all the hard work she does on behalf of the children of Jackson County. Thank you, Jen.
Chelsea, I think you might be still muted there, or not Chelsea. There you go.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure if I needed to unmute or say anything, but I'm super jazzed to receive this award. It was a very, very nice surprise to receive it because Jackson County has been hit very hard these past couple of weeks with some of the most severe cases I've ever seen. And this just put a huge smile on my face. And I mean, I have to credit the MDT and other colleagues in my office for getting me to the point where I could accept this award because they're just so incredible to work with. They make my job a lot easier. And I'm just incredibly blessed to work with a group of people that I work with. So super jazzed, love it.
Thanks, Jennifer. We're so happy to have you here and lucky to have you as a member of our multidisciplinary team. And thanks, Lisa, for jumping in to introduce Jennifer. I believe we have Sherry's video back on. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you for your grace. All right, we're going to turn it back over to Sherry Hamner so she can accept her award. Back to you, Sherry. Now we can't hear you. Okay, that's not a problem. Well, Sherry is outstanding. We're very proud to recognize her today. All right. Our final awardee today, we are proud to recognize one of our own. We recognize one of our own Child Advocacy Center team members for her commitment to the prevention of child abuse. So Lisa Stone celebrates over 20 years as Prevention Education Coordinator of the Southeast Missouri Network Against Sexual Violence, MO-NACA, in Cape Girardeau. A registered nurse and foster parent, Lisa created the Green Bear Project in 2001, a child sexual abuse prevention program which has reached 150,000 children in Southeast Missouri, which is truly remarkable as child abuse prevention is one of the areas that are most in high demand and most difficult to find support for. We're very proud of our Southeast Missouri program. I'm pleased to welcome Kendra Eads, Executive Director of MO-NACA, to share more about Lisa's work and child abuse prevention in Southeast Missouri.
Thank you, Jessica. Lisa Stone is our Prevention Education Coordinator, as Jessica said, and she is the founder of the Green Bear Project. We are the only sexual abuse prevention education program in Southeast Missouri. Lisa is a registered nurse and a former foster parent. Lisa created the Green Bear Project in 2001 in memory of baby Ty, one of her foster children, who was killed by physical abuse when he was returned to his parents. Ty's favorite toy at Lisa's house was a green teddy bear that he called Green Bear, inspiring the project's name. Lisa began working with MO-NACA in 2002 to bring the Green Bear Project to our service region, and the program has provided prevention education to over 150,000 people over the last 20 years. Lisa works tirelessly, in addition to her weekend job as a pediatric nurse, presenting programs to children in local schools, as well as training parents, professionals, and concerned citizens on defining, deterring, and disclosing sexual abuse. Many children receiving forensic interviews over the years at MO-NACA have reported that they have come forward after receiving a Green Bear presentation. Lisa has donated countless hours, miles, and personal finances to the Green Bear Project. In its first year, the program was provided to less than 500 children. The last full school year before the COVID-19 pandemic, Lisa and her staff provided the Green Bear Project to over 17,500 children. Initially, the program served pre-K through 5th grade students, but the Green Bear Project has added classes for 6th through 8th grade students in recent years. And in the 2022-2023 school year, she is adding classes for 9th through 12th grade students, in addition to the mandated reporting and community classes she has provided throughout the project's history. Lisa's most recent accomplishments include creating online programming to ensure kids who were doing virtual learning during the pandemic still received prevention education, planning a family-friendly community give back and awareness event for Child Abuse Prevention Month 2022 called A Walk in the Park with Green Bear. It was an absolute success, and that's why I'm sunburned today, as well as designing an exhibit at our local children's museum, Discovery Playhouse, called Green Bear Junction, which opened this month and will increase the project's reach by over 10,000 people annually. Lisa has been an outstanding advocate for children throughout her life and over the past 20 years through the Green Bear Project. We at MO-NACA believe she is incredibly deserving of this Standing with Children award, and we want to congratulate her. Lisa?
There I am. I told you, I was so nervous about getting on this right. Kendra, that was so sweet. Thank you so much. And I really want to thank Missouri KidsFirst for honoring me with the Standing with Children award. When I first started Green Bear with my best friend, Joan Quinn, we always said if we could just help one child, it would be worth it. Worth the hours we spent driving through Southeast Missouri, the time the Green Bear Project took away from our families, and the fear of failure. When we learned about helping prevent the abduction of a 4-year-old child, we thought it was all worth it. We never dreamed that this program would continue for over 20 years and our message would reach thousands of children. Just last week, my daughter Tiffany, who is a therapist, she had a session with a child who said she knew it was okay to tell about her being abused because Green Bear said it was okay. And he also told her what happened was not her fault. When I heard her story, I had the same feeling I had 20 years ago. And I never want that feeling to stop. There are so many people to thank for the success of this program. First, I must thank my daughter, Tiffany, the light of my life, who spent many nights in the first few years of our program folding brochures and making fun books. She has always been so supportive of the program we created in memory of a foster brother she loves so very much. Thanks to my best friend, Cindy, who was my rock at Tylen's funeral. When I sat on her couch a few months later and told her I had an idea and I was going to go to the schools and talk to kids about abuse and we were going to name it Green Bear after his favorite toy, she just said, "How can I help?" And she has helped so much over the years. And she makes really good Green Bear cookies, by the way. To MO-NACA and the staff for listening to someone who just showed up at their office one day with no money, no plan. I just had an idea. And I'll never be able to repay how much they help, not only financially, but by taking care of all those administrative duties. So we could just concentrate on going to schools, talking to kids about abuse, talking about what they should do if they're being abused, talk about ways to prevent abuse, and emphasizing to children, if they are abused, it's never, ever, ever their fault. I would really like to thank Kendra, who's always been and continues to be such a great friend and a wonderful boss lady. Without Pam Rampley, there would be no Green Bear, literally. She is the voice of Green Bear and has traveled throughout Southeast Missouri with me for over 18 years. She is such a positive influence on me, and through her quiet, unassuming guidance, she's helped me become a better educator. I also want to thank all my new educators, Janet Abernathy, Mia Ponder, and our newest educator, my nephew, Trey Stone. Your dedication to our program is truly appreciated. My mother and father have always been supporters of the Green Bear Project. without my daddy, who came to my house one day after the death of Tylen, when I was depressed and crying and on the couch. And he said, Lisa, you need to get up and do something. He was probably thinking I need to get up, take a shower, clean the house. I don't think he ever thought I would get up and start a not-for-profit organization educating children on abuse. But his words, do something, sparked that idea in my head. As a Christian, I truly believe what Jesus said in Matthew. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Through my faith in God and my love of a small child I had in foster care, who was killed due to abuse, the Green Bear Project was created. As long as the Green Bear Project exists, the memory of this truly precious child will never be forgotten. So thank you so much. I am so honored to be presented with the Standing with the Children Award. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for your commitment and innovation. We're so proud of your work.
Thank you.
And we're going to give Sherry is with us. Sherry is with us, actually, I believe, and she has sound. So we're going to give it a chance. I'm going to recognize Sherry Hamner, give her a chance to accept her award.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Great success.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Technology is great until it doesn't work. I would just really like to thank Missouri Kids First. It's really such an honor to receive this award. And thank Kara Gerdeman and all of Kids Harbor. I am so grateful for you, for your friendship, for everything that you all do for me and for all of the kids in our communities. It really does take a village to work these cases, and I have a pretty great village. And I'm so grateful for Kevin Hillman and our office here at the prosecutor's office. They truly do they make these cases a priority and put the kids first. And I would also like to thank and be grateful for our MDT members. None of it works without them. And I'm so grateful for everything they do to protect children every day. And I would also just quickly like to thank my own children for understanding the late night phone calls and the missed school events and just the impact that has on their lives. And to my husband and family, of course, who are always there to love and support me and when necessary, even pick up the pieces. So Mr. Rogers always talked about that when he was a boy and would see scary things in the world, his mother would tell him to look for the helpers. And I have had the privilege over the years of working with and learning from so many fantastic helpers. And it's always been such a passion of mine to work to protect children and make the community a safer place for children. And I feel very lucky that it's my job to come to work every day and be part of that and to try to be a helper. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherry. You've been a great resource and a great friend to your community, but also to our whole state. I know you've traveled all over the state doing trainings, so we really thank you for your work. And no, we'll continue. So that is our slate of awardees this year. The staff at Missouri Kids First is so grateful to our members and our partners for your support this year when we had another virtual event. And we encourage you, please join us next year. We're actually going to be celebrating 20 years as an agency. And we're holding our event in person. It is booked in Jefferson City the last Monday in April. So April 24th, 2023 at the Mill Bottom. Please save the date. It will be lovely to see everybody back in person. A lot easier to hand these awards over on a stage when you can see everybody's faces. And we look forward to celebrating with you then. Have a good afternoon, everyone.